Have you ever wondered why some months feel slower than others in real estate investing? Timing can make all the difference in this business. In this video, we'll explore the slowest months for real estate investors, why they happen, and how to turn them to your advantage. So first, we'll start off some seasonal trends in real estate. Some general market patterns are spring and summer are traditionally the busiest seasons where you have the most, especially if you're in a buy, renovate, and resell business. Those are when you're going to have the most active buyers in that market, really looking to move. And then even with renters with children, the spring and summer are going to be active months as well, trying to find a new apartment. That way you're in place before the school year. And then fall and winter are traditionally like your natural slowdown seasons. And some of them are due to holidays and just cold winter months for those reasons, depending on where you're at in the country. But the main factors are, most people in the winter months, especially up north, where you have cold, snowy winters, the weather conditions, people are less likely to go and visit houses. The other one, as I mentioned earlier, is school calendars. That's why kind of spring and summer are more active for renters and home buyers, kind of get everyone settled in before the start of the school year. And then you factor in Thanksgiving in November, and then you have all the other holidays in December, New Year's into January. Those are reasons kind of people put a lot of big purchasing decisions like this on hold as well. So those are some of the seasonal factors. And with regards to like November to February timeframe, these months are, pretty slow given the reasons I mentioned earlier. And, buyers are just going to wait for the warmer weather and the spring season to come out. Now, for you're an investor, what this means is, right, there's going to be fewer listings on the market. So if you're looking to buy rehab projects, um, there's going to be fewer inventories on the MLS during those months. And if you've got a bunch of flips that are coming due in these winter months, expect slower closing processes or less competition or buyer demand pool as well. So things could take a little bit longer. From a Me and Paul buy primarily through bank-owned properties, and it's the opposite for us. We actually do most of our buying from probably like September to that February time period, and that's just a different business model where banks are trying to get bad assets, which are properties that they inherited off their balance sheet. So they're looking to discount them out, but for like year-end type of thing. So that's when we do actually a lot buying. Whereas I was on the opposite side of the business with real estate investing, where I would send mailers out and paperclip and all that stuff direct to seller type of method a long time ago. These months here, November to February, were like the slowest. You'd see the least response from your marketing than you would for the rest of the year. So just some of the things to consideration is like, are you buying from banks off the MLS or just direct to home seller? These are the kind of different ebbs and flows of business that you'll see seasonality throughout the year. Next, we want to talk about some opportunities for you in slow months. So, with this less competition, right, you're going to see fewer active buyers. So, maybe you could negotiate better deals with motivated sellers in these slower months because there's a less buyer pool. An opportunity to get more discounted properties. Distressed sellers might be more likely to lower their price and close quick in these months, again, given to the reduced buyer pool. For me on the REO side, it's the kind of the same incentive. Banks, if they have year-end reporting, they might want to get a few more assets off the balance sheet before 12/31. So that's another example to pick up great discounted cash flow properties. And then, in the down months, if you have rental properties, maybe if you don't have a lot of call it rent turnover during those months, and it's more in the spring and summer, analyze your portfolio, plan for some upcoming projects in the winter months, and maybe network with other professionals out there to try to attract more off-market deals as well. So that way you can kind of manage the ebbs and flows of the natural seasonality of real estate market. Now, how do you want to stay productive during these snow months? Are other reasons such as maybe opportunity to refinance, some of your properties to lower mortgage rates is available. Take on renovation projects like upgrades to repairs that you had for your tenants. That way, if they do leave in the spring and summer, you kind of tackle that during the winter, or it's a good way to keep them in place longer with rent increases. And then, marketing push, you could start getting your marketing ready and revisiting your marketing plan for that spring seller rush too, to, put it on overdrive essentially to find more properties to buy and or sell, depending on what your strategy is. So tips for some new investors to handle the seasonality of real estate is be patient. You want to understand that slow months are normal. It's all part of this cycle. And then you also want to be prepared for the busy season. come in ready for it, and build your pipeline, search for potential deals, nurture those leads in the off season, call it, and then when they're ready to make the move in the selling season, go for it. And don't overextend. Avoid risky investments too, just to stay busy during the winter months. Stick to your underwriting criteria. Don't try to stretch for a deal that isn't a deal in the slow months. So to recap, slow months for real estate investors is usually November to February, and it may seem challenging, but it could be full of opportunities. Remember, the real estate market is cyclical, and you're going to have the ebbs and flows throughout the year. And if you found these insights helpful, don't forget to like, share, or subscribe, and drop a comment or questions below if you have any on what you do during the off season of